What is good, YouTube? Amy here. Hey, we're gonna be reacting to NF How Could You Leave Us? But before we hit the play button, can you hit the subscribe button? Because we are on the road to we're on the road to 10,000, 5,000 and 10,000. Really, we're on the road to 1 million, but we gotta take it in increments. We're doing NF How Could You Leave Us? I don't know much about the song. All I know is that you guys told me that it's a video about NF and his mom, and that I needed to respond to it. So let's do it. Let's just get into it. Let me make sure all these things are working. Mark, set, go. NF, how could you leave us? Ugh, it's going to be an emotional one, isn't it?
How could you leave so unexpected?
All right, so we know this is going to be NF here because of the hat, the black hat. So that's his mom and his siblings.
You leave so unexpected. We waited for you, but you just left us.
There's drugs. And he's crying.
But you just left us. We needed you.
I'm sorry, guys, but this is going to be a hard one because when I grew up, my mom was on meth like all of my childhood. In fact, my father was shot and killed by a 14-year-old when I was 8 months old, and what that did is it caused my mom, who was in love with him, to get on drugs. And she was on drugs my whole childhood. Now she's 71 now, and she's doing fine. She's a Christian. She loves God. She's clean and sober. She's not on meth anymore. She doesn't drink. Well, she's not on meth anymore. Let's just go that route. And she's clean and sober. And this is gonna be a similar story, isn't it? The drugs right there. There's so much trauma from childhood like that.
Yo, I don't know what it's like to be addicted to pills, but I do know what it's like to be a witness to kills. Mama told me she loved me. I'm thinking this isn't real. I think of you when I get a whiff of that cigarette smell, yeah. Welcome to the bottom of hell. They say pain is a prison. Let me out of my cell. You say you proud of me, but you don't know me that well. Sit in my room, tears running down my face, and I yell into my pillowcases. Say you coming to get us, then call a minute later just to tell us you're not. I'm humiliated. I'm in a room with the parent that I don't barely know. Some lady in the corner watching us while she's taking notes.
Oh, no. Oh, child welfare services there. Oh, man, I can relate to this. This is like real life. This is like real life. This really what happened? Oh, he's saying, I don't know you, Mom. You don't know me. I scream at my pillow. But the drugs, and it's so true. I didn't like my mom growing up. I couldn't stand her growing up. I hated my mom a lot growing up. I just felt so betrayed by her. Now, our relationship is fully restored. I love my mom with all my heart. But there was a lot of trauma because of the abuse. Because of her drug abuse.
Call a minute later just to tell us you're not. I'm humiliated. I'm in a room with the parent that I don't barely know. Some lady in the corner watching us while she's taking notes. I don't get it, Mom. Don't you want to watch your babies grow? I guess pills are more important. All you have to say is no. But you won't do it, will you? You gonna keep popping till them pills kill you. I know you're gone, but I can still feel you.
The pills killed her already. I know you're gone, but I can still feel you. Tells me that, yeah, she's not alive anymore.
Why would you leave us? Why would you leave us? How could you leave us? How could you leave us? Why would you leave us? Oh. I got this picture in my room and it kills me. But I don't need a picture of my mom, I need the real thing. Now I
I've got a picture of you, but I don't need a picture. I need you. You know, I've often thought about that about my dad. Like, I've got pictures of my dad, and obviously he was shot and killed. It wasn't a drug addiction that killed him. But I remember sitting just like this on my bed, like, man, I wish, especially because my mom would go man to man. She had a messed up, she really loved my dad, and it really messed her up really bad. And no excuse for the drug addiction, but I understand it. But when I was this age, I didn't understand it. And she would go from man to man, and some of them were abusive, and some of them were not. And actually, they were all pretty bad. They were all pretty bad, I'm not gonna lie. And I would just sit there, I'd be looking at a picture of my dad or thinking about my dad, and like, why? I can relate to this.
I got this picture in my room and it kills me. But I don't need a picture of my mom, I need the real thing. Now a relationship is something we won't ever have. But why do I feel like I lost something that I never had? You should have been there when I graduated. Told me you love me and congratulations. Instead you left us at the window waiting. Where you at, Mom? What you young to understand? Where you at, huh? Yeah, I know them drugs that got you held captive. I can see it in your eyes, they got your mind captured. Some say it's fun to get the high, but I am not laughing. See it in your eyes, they got your mind captured.
Some say it's fun to get the high. So mom is having a good time getting high, but NF and those on the sidelines, we're not laughing.
It's fun to get the high, but I am not laughing. And what you don't realize and what you're not grasping, that I was nothing but a kid who couldn't understand it. I ain't gonna say that I forgive you cause it hasn't happened. I thought that maybe I'd feel better as time passes. If you really cared for me, then where you at then?
So NF is carrying around the burden of unforgiveness because his mom left him or died because of drug overdose. The burden that this puts on children is
as time passes, if you really cared for me, then where you at then? Why would you leave us? Why would you leave us?
Left all three kids.
How could you leave us?
It's like robbing It's like robbing children of their innocence, of their youth.
How could you leave us? How could you leave us? Why would you leave us?
Oh, it's so heartbreaking.
Our last conversation, you and I sat in the living room.
Look at, they're talking, he's talking to his mom, but he's not looking at his mom, and his mom's kind of off there. So obviously this is reminiscing about his mom and how he sees his mom. Distant and not really there.
Our last conversation, you and I sat in the living room, talking about my music, and I brought you something to listen to. You started crying, telling me this isn't you. A couple weeks later, guess you were singing a different tune. You took them pills for the last time, didn't you?
So if NF is making music, he's probably in his teens.
Weeks later, guess you were singing a different tune. You took them pills for the last time, didn't you? They took you from us once, I guess they came back to finish you. Crying my eyes out in the studio is difficult. Music is a...
Because he's crying right now. NF, don't do this to me. I'm so sorry that you went through this.
Came back to finish you. Crying my eyes out in the studio is difficult. Yeah. Music is the only place that I can go to speak to you. It took everything...
Music is the only place that I can go to speak to you. Because you're not there. Because you left us. Because you're dead.
In the studio is difficult. Music is the only place that I can go to speak to you. It took everything inside of me not to scream at your funeral. Sitting in my chair, that person talking was pitiful. I wish you were here, mama, but every time I picture you, all I feel is pain. I hate the way I remember you. They found you on the floor. I could tell you felt hollow. Gave everything you had, plus your life to them pill bottles. You gave everything you had, plus your life to them pill bottles. Don't know if you hear me or not, but if you're still watching, why? Why would you leave us? Why would you leave us? How could you leave us?
Oh, that's so heartbreaking.
How could you leave us? Why would you leave us?
Addiction is horrible.
Sometimes I think about.
And he's really crying, isn't he? I can't do this. I can't do this. It's so real. It's so. I get it. Oh my gosh, I've been in.
Sometimes I think about like. Sometimes I think about things like. You know, when I have kids and like. You won't be there, you know. You won't be there for any of that.
Yeah. I had those same thoughts about my dad. Like, he's not going to be there to see. My kids never got to meet my dad. I never got to meet my dad. I mean, I was 8 months old. He was 24 when he was killed. But there's a piece because he didn't do this. It wasn't addiction that killed him. This has got to be brutally hard.
You won't be there, you know. You won't be there for any of that.
Don't cry. This is going to make me cry.
Never get to see you again. Sometimes I wish I would have just called you. I wish I would have just picked up the phone.
Yeah.
I wish you were here. I mean, you should have been there for us.
Yeah.
You should have been here.
Yeah.
Pills got you right. And pills got you right. I wish you were here.
As sad as this is, he ends the video with his mom smiling. Oh, that's brutal. That's what I love about NF. Like, his stuff is so emotionally, like, real. But you can't have music like that unless you've gone through stuff like that. Ugh. Guys, I gotta go. This was brutal. This was hard. God bless you guys.